Alright, so the Champions League is coming up and I've seen a lot of people make their predictions for the upcoming knockout rounds. However, no one's really done it with Python, so in this video I'm going to simulate the knockout rounds of the 2022 UEFA Champions League using Python. Here's our bracket that we'll be using, and then we'll fill in the simulated scores as we go. Keep in mind this simulation is basically 100% luck based, but with that out of the way, let's get into it. Okay, if we pull up our bracket again, you'll see we have Liverpool versus Benfica as the first fixture. So the first leg is going to be at the Estadio da Luz, which is Benfica's home, so we can select Benfica as the home team, and then Liverpool as the away team, and when we do this, the simulation is going to start. In the second minute, Opto-Mechanical gets booked, so he'll have to be careful, and in the 17th minute, Benfica's goalie, whose name is so long that it can't fit on my program, scores an own goal. You hate to see it, and Liverpool lead 1-0. But in the 31st minute, Thiago scores an own goal and it's 1-1. Gonçalo Ramos gets a red card and he's off in the 42nd minute, and at halftime it's 1-1 with Benfica a man down. After the break, Gilberto gets booked and then Taarabt commits a foul in the box, so it's a penalty to Liverpool and Mohamed Salah has the chance to send his team 2-1 up, which he takes. He scores the penalty. And in the 88th minute, Alex Grimaldo, the La Masia product, scores to make it 2-2 on the night, and possibly that is going to be the final score. And yes, the game ends 2-2. Great game at the Estadio da Luz. Now we'll go to Anfield for the second leg. Alright, so we can run the script again, and this time we can select Liverpool as the home team and Benfica as the away team and get things started. In the 7th minute, Thiago scores an own goal and it's 1-0 Benfica, and it's 3-2 to Benfica on aggregate. Salah scores an own goal and it's 4-2 Benfica. After that, a penalty is awarded, Darwin Núñez scores it, and it's 3-0 to Benfica at Anfield. What is happening? Henderson gets booked right before halftime, and going into halftime, Liverpool are down 3-0, so they need an Istanbul miracle to stay alive in this year's Champions League. In the 65th minute, Adel Taarabt makes it 4-0 and the tie is put to bed. Salah scores a consolation goal probably in the 75th minute, and it was a consolation goal as Benfica go through to the semi-finals, winning 4-1 on the night and 6-3 on aggregate. Alright, and now we can move on to the next game, which is Bayern versus Villarreal. We can hit enter to run the script again. And for the first leg, Villarreal are at home at the Estadio de la Ceramica. Bayern are away, and kicking things off, Benjamin Pavard scores a goal in the 25th minute to put Bayern ahead. Immediately after that though, Benjamin Pavard gets a red card and he's off. Leroy Sané scores to make it 2-0 Bayern, and Capu gets booked. Pino gets a red card, and Hernandez makes it 3. Halftime, Bayern are winning 3-0. Nothing much happens in the second half until the 65th minute where Arnaud Danjuma scores an own goal to make it 4-0 Bayern. Not sure how that happened, but the simulation is never wrong. There was a penalty awarded to Villarreal, which Danjuma scored, so now he has a net goal scoring of 0 in this game. 4-1 Bayern heading into the last 5 minutes, but Serge Aurier scores and it's 4-2. Game on. It's 4-3 in the 86th minute. Danjuma has scored 2 for Villarreal and 1 for Bayern on the night, and what a game this has been. Can they tie it? No, they can't. It's 4-3 Bayern on the night, but Villarreal have a lot of momentum heading into the second leg at the Allianz Arena. Okay, Bayern are going to be the home team and Villarreal are away. And Manuel Neuer commits a foul in the box, penalty to Villarreal. And if Arnaud Danjuma scores, it's 4-4 on aggregate. He scores the penalty, 4-4 on aggregate. What a comeback by Villarreal, but they still have 70 more minutes to play. And at halftime, Villarreal lead 1-0. In the 76th minute, Pau Torres is sent off. And here we have a late winner as Etienne Capu in the 88th minute scores for Villarreal to make it 5-4 on aggregate. What a comeback from the Yellow Submarine, and that should seal the game unless Bayern can clutch a draw. No, they can't. Trigueros gets booked. No one cares. Villarreal are through to the Champions League semi-finals. I can't believe it. Looks like this simulation really likes underdogs because now Benfica and Villarreal will face off in the semi-final. Now we can simulate the other games. So firstly, it's going to be Chelsea versus VARdrid, Visca el Barça by the way, at Stamford Bridge to start off. So home team Chelsea, away team VARdrid, and immediately Luka Modric scores, so he capitalizes on me insulting his team, and it's 1-0 to Real Madrid. The LeBron James of soccer commits a foul in the box, and it's a penalty to Real Madrid as Karim Benzema has the chance to make it 2-0. If you don't know what I mean by LeBron James of soccer, thank Pawn Stars for coining that term. Karim Benzema misses the penalty though, a crucial moment possibly in the tie, and Courtois commits a foul in the box on the other end, so a penalty to Chelsea. This time Jorginho slots it away, and Kroos gets a red card in the 34th minute. Right before halftime, Thibaut Courtois scores an own goal, and it is 2-1 to Chelsea at halftime. And then right after that, Eder Militao scores an own goal, and it is 3-1 to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. And after that, Alaba scores an own goal, it's 4-1 to Chelsea on aggregate, and Real Madrid have put 3 goals in their own net. And in the 89th minute, Jorginho makes it 5, La Manita at the Stamford Bridge. 5-1 final, and going into Barca's training ground, Real Madrid have a real task to try to come back from this. Alright, the home team is going to be Madrid, and the away team Chelsea at Barca's training ground, aka the Bernabeu. Starting things off, Asensio commits a foul in the box, and it's a penalty to Chelsea, and Jorginho has the chance to make it 6-1 on aggregate. He does, it's 6-1 to Chelsea. Chilwell scores to make it 7, and at halftime, Azpilicueta makes it 3. It is 8-1 on aggregate for Chelsea. As a Barca fan, you'll love to see it. 4-0 courtesy of a David Alaba own goal, and it is 9-1 to Chelsea on aggregate. Rudiger scores a consolation goal for Real Madrid, and it is a 9-2 score on aggregate. Azpilicueta gets himself sent off for no reason in the 75th minute, and it's still 9-2 to Chelsea. Mendy scores an own goal to make it 9-3, and things are not interesting yet, but they're slightly more interesting. 5-2 though, it is 10-3 on aggregate. What is happening? 11. And the match ends 6-2 for Chelsea at Barca's training ground. It's been absolutely destroyed in the past couple of weeks, courtesy of Barca and Chelsea. And the last matchup in this year's quarterfinals is going to be Atletico Madrid versus Manchester City, Simeone versus Pep, anti-football versus total football. Let's see what happens. It's going to start off at the empty hat, so we're going to select Manchester City for home and Atleti for away. Immediately, Herrera gets himself booked, and Mandava scores an own goal to make it 1-0 for the citizens. 2-0 courtesy of another own goal by Renan Lodi this time, and 3-0 from another own goal, and all of the 8 fans at the empty hat are really enjoying this one. Jimenez commits a foul in the box, and City have the chance to make it 4-0. Mahrez does. It's 4-0 before halftime. This tie is already over. However, John Stones scores an own goal to make it 4-1, and penalty to Atleti, and they can make it 4-2 before halftime, which they do because Antoine Griezmann scores. And this has actually become a contest now. And right before halftime, Mandava makes it 4-3. What is happening? Halftime, Manchester City 4, Atletico Madrid 3. 5-3 because Stefan Savic scores the 4th own goal for Atletico Madrid. But now, Stefan Savic commits a foul in the box, penalty to Man City, and Riyad Mahrez has the chance to score a brace of penalties, which he does, 6-3. Llorente gets booked right before full time, and right at full time, Savic gets a red card, he's off, but they don't really care, 6-3 for Man City, full time. Personally, I think there's no chance for Atleti, but let's see what happens at the Wanda Metropolitano. Home team Atletico and away team City. De Bruyne gets himself sent off in the 4th minute, pretty good start for Atleti. Laporte gets booked in the 30th minute, and Phil Foden scores an own goal, and it is 6-4 to City on aggregate. Halftime, 1-0 to Atleti courtesy of a Phil Foden own goal, and 6-4 on aggregate for Man City. Mandava scores an own goal in the 78th minute, and now it is 7-4 for City on aggregate. Herrera scores an own goal to make it 8-4, and the match ends 2-1 for Manchester City, which means they win 8-4 on aggregate and are through to the semi-finals of the Champions League, where they will face Chelsea in a rematch of last year's final. Going back to the other side of the bracket, we have Villarreal versus Benfica. I'm going to start out at Benfica's home. And in the 25th minute, Aurier scores for Villarreal, making it 1-0. And there's a penalty to Benfica in the 41st minute, which Darwin Nunez can score. He does score, but right after that, he scores an own goal, so it's 2-1 to Villarreal. At halftime, it's 2-1 to the Yellow Submarine. 3-1 now as Gilberto scores an own goal. 4-1 because Tarap scores an own goal. 5-1 because their goalie scores an own goal. 6-1 because Trigueros scores. And a penalty to Benfica, Darwin Nunez can get a brace of penalties, which he does, 6-2. 6-3 because Etienne Capoue scores an own goal. 7-3 because Yeremy Pino gets himself on the score sheet. Danjuma gets a red card, he's off, 7-3 Villarreal. 8-3 because Raul Albiol gets on the score sheet as well. 8-4, Weigl scores. Capoue gets a red card in the last minute, he's off. 8-5 in the last minute. Grimaldo scores. And I've never seen a game like this ever. What just happened? Going into the Estadio de la Ceramica, Villarreal are winning 8-5. They score another goal, it's 9-5, and another penalty to them, it's 10-5, 11-5, and halftime. Penalty to Villarreal again, it's 12-5, it's 12-6. Grimaldo gets himself sent off, it's 13-6, 13-7, and Opto-Mechanical gets himself sent off, and it's covering the text now. And the match ends, Villarreal win 5-2, and they win 13-7 on aggregate. One team is done. Now to decide the other team of the 2022 Baraltech Python Champions League simulation. Today for you we have Manchester City versus Chelsea, and City is going to be starting at home at the Etihad. Let's get things started with Manchester City and then Chelsea. Let's go. Immediately in the 4th minute, John Stones breaks the deadlock for Manchester City, but in the 21st minute, Thiago Silva replies, and it's 1-1. 2-1 right before the break, courtesy of an Azpilicueta own goal, and heading into halftime, it's 2-1 for the Citizens. Ederson commits a foul in the box in the 57th minute, it's a penalty to Chelsea, and Jorginho has the chance to make it 2-2, which he does. It's 2-2, what a game so far. It's 3-2 to Chelsea now as Ben Chilwell scores, and it's 4-2 in the last minute, courtesy of Kai Havertz, and that's going to be full time. At the Etihad, Chelsea win 4-2, and Manchester City have to climb a mountain to win this tie and go on to the Champions League final. Alright, now for the second leg at Stamford Bridge. James gets booked in the 24th minute, but in the 41st minute, Edouard Mendy commits a foul in the box and it's a penalty to Manchester City. Mahrez has the chance to make it 4-3 on aggregate at the Bridge, and that's exactly what he does. Halftime, Manchester City lead 1-0, and it's 4-3 on aggregate for the Blues, albeit the darker ones. The LeBron James of soccer gets booked right before the 69th minute. Can we see a late winner from City? Yes, we can! As Antonio Rudiger, well, not really a winner, but a late tying goal as Antonio Rudiger scores an own goal against his team, and it is 4-4 on aggregate. What a comeback from Manchester City. Can anyone else score before the end of the game? No, no one can score, and it is 4-4 on aggregate, which means we'll be going to extra time. So since I didn't implement extra time into my simulation, how we're going to do this is we're going to run another simulation of this at Stamford Bridge. It's going to be whoever scores more goals in the first 30 minutes of the game. So let's go ahead and do that. Home team Chelsea, away team City. Let's get extra time underway. Ederson gets booked as the first event in our extra time. And Kyle Walker scores, and Manchester City have the lead. It's 5-4 on aggregate in extra time. Can Chelsea tie it? Oh, 25th minute of extra time. Kyle Walker commits a foul in the box. It's a penalty to Chelsea, and if Jorginho stays calm, he will send this game probably to a penalty shootout, which I don't know how we're going to decide. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. He scores. It's 1-1. Can anyone score before the end of extra time? Ederson can get a red card though. Oh my goodness. 30th minute, literally the last minute of the game in extra time, Ben Chilwell commits a foul in the box. It's a penalty to Manchester City, and Riyad Mahrez has a chance to send his team to the Champions League final if he converts this penalty. Will he do it? Cue the suspenseful music. He does! Riyad Mahrez sends Manchester City to the Champions League final, knocking out the Russian oil merchants at their own stadium. What a game we have. And the final is going to be Manchester City versus Villarreal. Let's get into it. It's the day we've all been dreaming about since we were kids. It's the big day. It's the Baraltech Champions League, Python, whatever, final between Villarreal and Manchester City. I flipped a coin to decide who would be home. Benfica was heads, and they lost. So at the Etihad, Manchester City have the chance to win the Baraltech Champions League. Let's get the game started. 12 minutes into the game, Manuel Trigueros commits a foul in the box. It's a penalty to City, and Riyad Mahrez has the chance to score in the Champions League final from the spot. He does, and it's 1-0 to the Citizens. But immediately, Bernardo Silva scores an own goal, and it's 1-1 in the Champions League final. Kevin De Bruyne scores an own goal to make it 2-1 to Villarreal. What is happening? Laporte commits a foul in the box. It's another penalty to Villarreal, and they have the chance to go 3-1 up before halftime. What they do. Arnaud Danjuma possibly has just won the Baraltech Champions League for Villarreal. Another penalty to Villarreal in the 43rd minute. He misses though. That could be crucial if City mount a comeback. Halftime, 3-1 Villarreal. Capu gets booked in the 48th minute. Not much happens, as in the 72nd minute, Rulli gets booked, their goalie. Laporte gets himself sent off in the 80th minute, and it looks like Villarreal are destined for the VARdrid Champions League. But no, Rodri scores to make it 3-2 to Villarreal. Can they mount a comeback? No, they can't, as Riyad Mahrez scores an own goal to seal the deal. Villarreal are the 2022 VARdrid UEFA Champions League champions. I didn't believe this would happen. There was no chance in my mind that they would beat Bayern, and then they would go on to beat Benfica, and then Manchester City in the final. They have won the Champions League. I can't believe it. If you enjoyed this video at all, consider liking. If you really liked it, consider subscribing for more content like this in the future. I hope to see you in the next video, but until then, have a good day and enjoy this year's Champions League.